What is up, everybody? My name is Nick, joined once again by my co-host Matt, and we got a special guest today at BucketJonBets. You can call him just John, if that's okay. We'll go with
That's
John.
okay. Yeah, that works.
Thank you for joining us. We're going to talk about World Cup. World Cup. It's the Elite Eight. That's the way it should be said. So that's what we're going to say it. It's the Elite Eight. I know that bothers all my British co-workers, but you know, nobody cares about the British. Nobody cares about the British. So thank you for joining us. So much to talk about. But let's talk about you first. Why don't you give the people a little bit of insight on yourself and what you do as a gambler?
Yeah, so my name is John. I go by Buckets, whatever's easier for you. I've got no preference. Excited to talk about the quarterfinals of the World Cup here, the Elite Eight. That's fine, whatever works for you. I've been a capper now for just over a year. I am exclusively in the field of soccer. All I do is cap soccer. I've got basically zero knowledge of any sport outside of soccer. So bear with me when we talk about American football. I'm kind of going to just smile and give the thumbs up and agree with whatever these two say. I'm just going to tail them blindly. It's what I've done for a long time now. But I got started over a year ago when COVID kind of shut things down. The only popular soccer leagues to bet were the Japanese J1 and the Korean K1 leagues. And so I bet exclusively in Japan and Korea, started posting my picks on Reddit, Twitter, just random spaces all over the place. And I found some success there. Kind of blew up a little bit from there. And now I work with CBS Sports and with Sportsline, doing a bunch of stuff for them. And kind of expanded to soccer all over the place. So whether it's World Cup or the Czechoslovakian League or the Kazakhstani League, I kind of just find value wherever the money takes me. And I don't really care what league we have to go to find that.
Yeah, you hear that, all you degenerates. You can follow John and get your daily, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. fixes before all the real sports start. So
yeah, is that all like day long, all these leagues?
It's basically 24/7, especially when we're not in the World Cup and we're on the weekend. You can gamble on soccer from midnight to midnight for 3 or 4 days straight every week and never run out of games to bet on.
That is
time zones. Just keep moving to different time zones.
Exactly.
That's fantastic.
Chinese soccer, all the way through all the countries. But excited to have you on. We do still have the Flash Picks DK boost. So every day for the quarterfinals, you'll be able to up anytime goal scorers by plus 100. Obviously, we have Argentina versus the Netherlands, and then Brazil plays somebody. I forget. But it's no worries there. Let's talk about this. Argentina versus Netherlands. I know you think some goals are going to be scored there. Obviously, we can all agree that Messi is probably the best. It cashed earlier. He's probably the best value as far as going from negative odds to positive odds. Thoughts on an anytime goal scorer or a goal scorer for that game in general, John?
Yeah, if you're looking for value, you almost have to go on Messi. It's his last World Cup. There's this whole narrative built around his last World Cup and how he's going to dominate for club and for country and for everyone that's been following him. And he's now cashed in 3 of his 4 World Cup games. He is the kind of guy that, because he leads this team so heavily, anytime he touches the ball, he's going to shoot the damn ball. He is going to have probably 5 or 6 shots in this game. And I would not be surprised if he grabbed a couple of goals here. So if you can get that plus 100 boost, there's tremendous value on Messi to do what he does almost every single game when he's playing for Argentina.
Yeah, 100%. But what about this game as a whole? I mean, you got to have a play here.
Yeah, I do. I still think that the books are giving us group stage prices for knockout stage games. So in the group stage, we saw a ton of games and 0-0, a lot of games at the under and not a lot of action happening. Now in the knockout stage, 6 of the 8 games went over 2.5 goals and saw both teams to score. All of those games were at plus odds for that to happen. And I see that happening again in this game. Both teams to score in this game is currently at plus 100. You can find it to plus 110 where you shop around. And that's tremendous value for 2 of the best attacking nations in the World Cup as a whole.
Yeah, awesome. I agree. I think, especially with the group stage, I think you're right. You're not only playing the team against you, you're playing against the other team. So a lot of people with the goal differential and goals scored just being so valuable to moving on, especially for those later games in the group stages, a lot of goals were just I feel like they weren't even trying until halftime. They're just kind of like letting the game kind of flow and not take any chances. But in the knockout stages, the only team you're playing against is the team that you're playing. So it's a lot easier to kind of take risks, calculated risk and make runs and kind of maybe overextend. So I think I like that. And I did not pay attention to what the books had or what they usually have. I don't bet soccer a lot, but I like to think in the World Cup, I'm one of the biggest soccer fans in the world, as is every single American human being. But yeah, I think that's a great way to go at it, because except for like the Morocco-Spain game where they clearly just parked the bus,
right?
These teams at this stage aren't going to do that. Morocco probably does that again, but besides Morocco, that's the only team that probably will have that strategy.
That's how they can win. So
yeah. Well, and Argentina is a team that you can't really park the bus against. You're not going to stop Messi, Julian Alvarez, Lautaro Martinez. Those guys are going to score no matter what. So the game plan devolves from defending to they're going to score, which means we have to score too. So it does open up those games a lot more.
No, I agree. I love that. I'm obviously tailing, so.
And let's talk about this last game. Who does Brazil play? Tell me.
They play Croatia, and I wish it did matter more, but you're right, it doesn't matter a whole lot in this one.
Do you have any picks that we look at for this game in particular? It's still going to be a later game.
Yeah, so I'm kind of looking at the player prop market a little bit. I think Brazil handles this Croatian side pretty easily. Brazil kind of showed against South Korea earlier this week that when they want to try, they can shove 4 goals down your throat like it's nothing in 30 minutes. And it was terrifying watching how good this attack has been. So rather than play a bunch of goals or anything crazy, I am looking just at the player prop market here. You've got Neymar, you've got Vinny Jr., and you've got Richarlison, who are all currently plus odds as anytime goal scorers. If you want to throw that boost on top of it, it's only going to be better. But Neymar at plus 115 feels like a gift for a Brazilian side that could very well score 4 goals in this matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So you would take either Messi or Neymar with this boost, or anybody else that you consider looking at for this boost?
My top 2 picks would be Messi and then Neymar. If you want a little bit more of a long shot, or if you're a little bit more of a risky or degen, however you want to phrase it, player here, Cody Gakpo for Netherlands. If you do believe both teams is going to score here, he's currently sitting at plus 300. He has scored in 3 of the 4 games so far for Netherlands. And this has kind of been his coming out party in the World Cup. He has been absolutely dominant and is showing the world I'm a problem. And he's going to get shots here. And he might be the one to notch it for Netherlands. At plus 300, you can get a beautiful boost on that as well.
Yeah. Awesome. So guys, make sure you're taking advantage of that boost. Their details will be on the Flash Picks Twitter page, just like last time. It's for new or pre-existing users. It's 1 per day, and the limit is $25. But that's $25 you can bet. No matter if you're a big unit guy or a small unit guy. It's not how you use your unit or the size of your unit. What is how you use your unit, right? I was trying to make a unit joke. Didn't work out so well. Whatever. Let's get right into something that might make John feel a little uncomfortable. Some real football with men on a field, groping each other and tackling each other and throwing a ball around, using their hands, everything but their feet, really, except for Matt's favorite position, the kicker and the punter.
Damn right.
Matt, I know you got a lot to talk about. That's why you've been quiet up until it's the Raiders versus the Rams. Just get into it.
Listen, the Raiders, I don't know if you guys know this, but they're a pretty damn good football team, all right? And some of you guys may say, they lost their first 3 games of the season, blah, blah, blah. They suck. Move on to the next year. Not so damn fast, Nick. Not so damn fast. And you want to know why? Because they are plus 700 to make the playoffs. And you know what we're doing? We're betting that. And now, before all of you guys say, this guy's an idiot, blah, 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 Derek Carr is a serial killer, blah, blah, blah. Listen, I get it.
Is that a thing for Derek Carr?
He kind of looks like a serial killer. But that just means, he terrifies defense a little more.
He's got that killer instinct, you know what I'm saying?
But anyway, the Raiders are just outside the playoffs right now. They're 5-7. 7 teams make the playoffs on each side. So when you think about it, Bills, Chiefs, Ravens, Bengals, we'll add the Dolphins in there, and the Titans are all probably going to make the playoffs, barring anything a little crazy. So that means the field that they just have to beat is the Jets, the Patriots, Chargers, Browns, and Steelers. Browns and Steelers are 5-7, just like them. So I really don't think that they're going to be any sort of a problem. And judging by the end of the schedule, they have a little bit of a tough one. So really focusing on the Jets and the Patriots and their division rivals, the Chargers. But, if you think the Raiders are bad, you probably also think the Chargers are bad. So I don't have to convince you on that part. But the Jets, angry New York fans, they're 7-5. But I'm telling you right now, the end of their schedule is really tough. I don't think they sneak into the playoffs, especially with their quarterback issues that they have. I don't see it. They just have to beat the Patriots, in my opinion, who they will face after tomorrow and next week at home in Las Vegas. Obviously, this bet is pointless if they lose tomorrow, so I may eat my words. But at the end of the day, it's 7-1, and it's some value and some great vibes for the end of the season. Everyone else is going to be focusing on everything else: Bills, Chiefs, Cowboys, Eagles, blah blah blah. Give me the Raiders. Okay, they're 7-1 to make the playoffs and to win the Super Bowl. Listen, they're plus 15,000. Plus 15,000. You're out of your mind if you don't bet this. That is crazy. The book is giving you a Christmas present, okay? Vegas always wins. So if Vegas always wins, who's winning the Super Bowl? How about the team that plays there, okay? Now let's get into the game. We have the Raiders versus some other team that, just won the Super Bowl or whatever. We're not really talking about them, though. The Rams, 6.5-point spread in LA, who just picked up Baker Mayfield. This is an ugly game. The lines aren't even up for the Rams side for the most part because of the whole quarterback issue. They don't know if Baker's going to play. But, that's not going to stop us from betting on it. So I do have a great kicker prop. It's Matt Gay over 1.5 field goals. He is the kicker for the Rams. It is a dome. The Raiders defense gives up a lot of yards. And I do think with this new quarterback switch, or even if, they stick with the same guy, it's not a big threat. So you either have a non-threatening quarterback or a new one who still, can get some yards and maybe have some trouble in the end zone, which is what I'm going for here. Don't really have to worry about the weather. It's plus 100. I think they score more field goals than touchdowns. So I like the value at plus 100. John, I'm going to let my tongue take a break right now after my little rant. You have a play in this game, and I'm very excited to hear it. And hopefully they are too after hearing my little rant.
Well, let me ask you this, Maddie, as somebody that has actually never bet the NFL by myself before, and someone that is very new to this sport, is it a significant deal whether Baker Mayfield does play in that first game? Does it matter? Do the Raiders win this regardless? What happens if he does or doesn't start there?
I think they do win. A lot of people think he's done. Obviously, I think he didn't really have a chance with the teams he was on. He's definitely a better quarterback than their current guys that they're kind of deciding between. But at the end of the day, I'm assuming the Rams run heavy. I'm assuming he doesn't know too much of the playbook. Obviously, they're going to, he's still Baker Mayfield. They have regular plays that aren't really specific to teams. But the chemistry is a little off. You need time to develop chemistry with your receiver. So I think their passing game just takes a little bit of a hit. If you told me Baker Mayfield was starting 3 games already for the Rams, and now he's playing, obviously they're better. I think the first game, it may be kind of one that they kind of just got to give up this game to kind of focus on the next.
Okay. Well, then I'll go with my pick here, and keep in mind, and my warning to everyone is I do not watch the NFL. I do not bet the NFL. I do not believe that this is the real football, as the phrasing that Maddie used. I could not care less about the NFL, but
incoming lock.
But with that being said, my lock of the century, my 100-unit play, my whatever BS you want to say to get clicks. I'm looking. I did 30 seconds of research and decided that I'm going to bet on Derek Carr over 0.5 interceptions in this match. And all I did was Google. First, I had to figure out who Derek Carr was. So I Googled that, found out that he was the quarterback. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I saw that he has 8 interceptions and 7 of them have come on the road. So he seems like the kind of guy that when he doesn't have the support of his home fans, which means the world in soccer, he doesn't play to his potential. And we see that across every sport, and we know that's always a problem, and home field advantage is definitely a thing. So for him to throw a singular interception is minus 120. I don't know. I don't know a lot about the sport, I'll admit that, but I like the odds there. So that's going to be my first and probably only ever NFL play here.
All right, you're going to nail that, and then
I love it.
And then I'll retire, and be like, hey, guys, 100% hit rate. Never missed a play in my life.
Yeah,
done with
ROI
NFL.
Is insane.
Yeah, you're welcome. And then I'll just leave the scene forever. But I'm going out with a bang.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't hate it at all. I like it.
Rams have gotten 2 interceptions in the back-to-back weeks. 1 interception each week, and one was versus.
The Rams have the third
most
interceptions in the league.
Yeah. Don't hate it. Guys, he's definitely going to win because beginner's luck, that's a thing. It's real. I love it. No, it's not a bad bet whatsoever. First of all, Matt. Okay. Okay. John, you see what I have to deal with on a weekly basis.
That's a great bet.
Yeah.
Does that sign above your head, Nick, just say sports on it? Speaking of dealing with
custom sports sign.
You see, John, what I have
do
to do
you sell those on the? Do you have a site where I can buy one of those?
We might be doing a giveaway when we get to like a certain number, like 10,000, 20,000. I'll just give it away. But it is one of one unique sign sports. Just in case people forget what we're talking about here, I just want to make sure everybody's.
It's a good reminder to the people.
You don't need subtitles when you have that thing up there.
Sometimes I just get going and you saw what Matt can talk about, anything. Just absolute gibberish. Raiders going to win the Super Bowl. Okay.
I'm just saying.
I lean the under on this game. It's at 43.5. I mean, two disgusting, really one disgusting offense. Defenses are Rams defense is okay. The Raiders defense is it's just I don't want to touch this game, to be honest. It's another stinker. I really hope Baker Mayfield does start, not for the benefit of Baker Mayfield, because that'll probably be the worst situation. Just throw him in on a short week, when he just signed with the team. Granted, he's probably better than both quarterbacks they have now. Yeah, the under. I don't know. I'm not going
to. Can I ask you a question, Nick?
Go for it.
And this is just based on the crap I see on Twitter. Is there a reason that every standalone primetime NFL game is just terrible this season? Is that what it always is like, or is that just this year?
No,
this year is unique.
It's a short week though, and I think the NFL honestly just was putting bad primetime games on Thursday, so people didn't complain about it. Because if you're the Chiefs and you're playing was supposed to be their divisional rival, let's say the Chargers this year on a short week, you're going to complain about it because it's just a disadvantage to everyone. You can't really prepare. So I think they were throwing Colts, Broncos, all these teams that honestly, not really divisional, nothing crazy, that they couldn't complain because that's not that important of a game for them. Even though every game is important, I think they kind of just did that to kind of ease the blow, because Thursday games should just not be a thing in general, especially late in a season like this.
Okay. Because every time I go on gambling Twitter and it's a primetime game, it's just people saying this is the worst game I've ever watched.
Yeah.
And it discourages me from wanting to even turn on a game like that when everyone's just saying it's awful.
They're bad.
I've been saying this for weeks now. You got to lean into the shit. Okay. It sucks. I've been betting unders. It's great. Embrace that it's going to be a shitty game. Bet a under. I'll probably do that again this week. And just lean into the shit. If the under doesn't hit, that means you probably watched, well, maybe, it could be 42 to 7, but lean into the shit. That's all I got to say. I'm done talking about this game. John, let's do a shameless plug. Tell us where people can find you and what content you're putting out for,
Yeah, so especially for the World Cup, I'm a bit all over the place because I feel like there's not a ton of World Cup cappers here in the States. But I do a show with PointsBet called Stoppage Time with Ian Joy, in which 3 times a week we sit down and we talk through different matchups, predictions, all that fun stuff. And then I'm also with CBS Sports and Sportsline. I do a daily show with them called The Early Edge, where we give out our favorite picks for any league, whatever we find value in, every single morning. And those are kind of the 2 big things that I roll with at the moment, at least.
Awesome. Guys, thanks you for joining me on my show. I really appreciate it. Matt, thanks for showing up. John, it's been a pleasure. Guys, make sure, again, let's run through the plays one more time. Argentina versus Netherlands. Both teams to score. Neymar, anytime goal. Matt has Matt Gay over 1.5 field goals at plus 100. John took Derek Carr to throw an interception. And mine at this point is the lean on the under of 43.5.
And also, if you're going to use that boost there for the plus 100, Messi's probably going to be your best choice for that one as well. Don't want to forget that.
Also, Raiders to make the playoffs 7-1.
And to win the Super Bowl, right?
And win
150-1 or something.
It is 150-1. And you know what's going to happen? They're going to win the Super Bowl, and John's going to be like, man, I really wish I threw a couple bucks on that. That's just what's going to happen.
John, I'm blaming you because I was trying to roll through it and you stopped me.
I'm sorry.
We finished
again. He said
We finished.
Yep, we're done. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. See us on Saturday morning. Bet responsibly and have a great day.